As they say in Washington, the House will come to order.
Or in the House of Commons.
Okay, we're going to get started here. Please, everybody take a seat. Turn off your phones. Welcome to a joint meeting of the Indian Wells City Council and Successor Agency. We have a lot to get through, so let's get started with a Pledge of Allegiance. Tober, will you take us through? Yeah.
Okay, the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. City Clerk, could you do a roll call?
Councilmember Board Member Sanders,
Present.
Councilmember Board Member Penna,
Present.
Councilmember Board Member Dr. Taylor,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Vice Chair Reed,
Here.
Mayor Whitman, and Chair Whitman.
Here. Is there a motion to approve the final agenda?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0. There are no presentations or proclamations today. Is that right? Or are you bringing up a proclamation here, Ms. Manning? Okay. Public comments. Members of the public who wish to speak on consent calendar items not listed on the agenda may do so at this time. Ms. Clerk, do we have any public comments? Do we have any public comments not on the agenda?
Public comments.
All right, then we will move on. City Manager report. Mr. City Manager, do you have any report?
I do, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. I have a long one, so please bear with me. First and foremost, on Tuesday, November 11th at 10 a.m., please join the city as we pay tribute to the men and women who have served our nation in the armed forces at our annual Veterans Day event. This will also be the kickoff of our second annual Toys for Little Marines and Sailors toy drive, benefiting families at the Marine Corps Air Combat Center at 29 Palms. Please bring in a new unwrapped toy or gift, as well as gift cards that we can use to purchase new toys as well. So either option is available. In addition, event will have other special treatment because we'll have a unique musical performance planned. We have Nicole Buffard visiting from Washington, D.C. Not only is she a truly amazing singer, she's the daughter of Indian Wells resident Larry Buffard, but she has performed at numerous official functions for the United States, including dinners at the White House and other nationally recognized concert performances. So it's going to be a really exciting morning on Tuesday, November the 11th for Veterans Day.
Tell the audience where the event will take place.
Yes, here at City Hall. Also, our new fiscal year 2025-2026 budget at glance has been delivered to households. Congratulations to Finance on another great community outreach mailing. We have copies available in the lobby if any residents wish to see it. I have some great news to share. Our current emergency services coordinator, Linda Soto, if she could please stand. Yep. She has been promoted to a new position with Riverside County as its alert and warning coordinator. This, however, means she'll be leaving us shortly for this new role.
Not before my training.
However, the good news about all this is, as part of the transition, I'm pleased we have to announce that Jessica Prieto has been selected to serve as our new emergency services coordinator.
Wow, welcome.
And she is standing as well. She has already begun advancing many of your City Council emergency preparedness strategic goals, and we're excited to have her join Indian Wells. Last, the Players Course dedication is set for December 2nd. All are invited. We've been talking a lot about this over the last several months, and so we're excited about that. Festivities begin with a welcome breakfast early at 8 a.m., a ribbon cutting at 9 a.m., and golf for residents the rest of the day. As anticipated, the Players Course will have a soft opening on Friday, November the 28th, and it'll be open that Thanksgiving weekend, so the 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Great.
Okay,
Great.
so that's excellent news. However, the course will close down on Monday, December 1st, and we will have a resident day of golf from 7 a.m. to noon. So resident play only that morning to give residents the opportunity to play the course first. And then throughout the rest of the day, we'll have some other attendees. We do have some media coming in and other folks playing the course later that afternoon. Plus, we need to have some time to get it ready for the festivities the next day. And so Troon wanted me to share that with you, all you folks. And please be sure to look for emails from either the golf resort and or the city for those activities. And with that, that concludes my updates.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I do have a question, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I'll ask the city manager a question to start out with. When was it that we first started going down the path for a permit for the Whitewater Channel?
A couple of years ago.
And so the CVWD has had our permits or our plans in plan check for 2 years.
Off and on, yes, that is correct.
I mean, I've been in that business on the legal side for a long time. This is outlandish. We've got a major stake in the Whitewater Channel, and we've got a $5 million grant that's pending, approved, but possibly in jeopardy with some of the budget cuts that the Trump administration has engaged in. So I think the council deserves a thorough report on where we are with this, what the prospect is for getting the plans approved, getting the permits we need, and getting this thing constructed.
What I could, for the benefit of the council, I can bring back a report at your December meeting summarizing where we're at. Wouldn't it be great if we had a permit by then? And then also just a summary of the next steps in order to get that channel project moving forward.
Yeah, thank you.
So can we put that
Mayor?
on the agenda for December?
At the
A
will
full
of the
report
council.
on the,
If you mind, Mayor, could we also get an update on the grant, the $5 million grant as well, on where that is and the
I can share that with you. We have been awarded a $5 million grant, and it's at HUD, waiting for us to be utilized. But with the government shutdown, of course, there is no acquiring that grant. And we are in the process, hopefully, of trying to secure another $5 million grant as part of that project as well.
anybody else? Mayor Pro Tem Reed.
If we're going to be discussing the Whitewater Channel at our next meeting, should we not at least invite the general manager of the water district to join us and tell us what the problem is and why it's taking so long?
Capital idea.
I think that's a great idea. Could we do that?
I mean, we can't subpoena him, but we can invite him to come and explain to us what his problem is.
Right. And I just want to make sure we clarify the permit we're talking about is for the design of the Whitewater Channel, which will help facilitate future development along 111. This is for the residents' benefit. And we're doing this in partnership with the developer, Summit Development. And so they're the ones that actually have the application on behalf of both parties. So.
Let's be clear. It doesn't just facilitate development. Development cannot occur
Fair enough.
until that project is constructed.
Correct.
And we've got a major hotel hanging in the balance.
Correct.
I don't want to impose on our new mayor in December, but that would go on the December. Is that so? That being said, I would make a motion to include it on the next agenda, including a request for the manager of the water district to come and give us a report.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0.
If you may, Mayor, I'm so happy to hear that Topper's already saying yes to everything.
Wow. There you go. May you remember that.
He's an easy mark.
We're taking notes on.
Okay, good.
Okay. Any other questions for our city manager on the city manager report specifically? Nope. All right. Mr. City Attorney, do you have a report or any comments?
Yes, Mayor and Council, just a brief report. As you know, the council met this afternoon in closed session to discuss the 3 items identified and described on the posted agenda. No action was taken in that closed session that needs to be reported under the Brown Act. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Anybody have any questions for the City Attorney or comments? All right, we'll move to the successor agency consent calendar.
Move approval.
All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be approved by one motion, which has already been made. Is there a second?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries 5-0. We will now move to the consent calendar for council. Is there a second to the motion on the consent calendar, or does anybody want to pull an item? And is there a second? First of all, anybody want to pull an item? No? Is there a second to the motion to approve the consent calendar?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries 5-0. Congratulations to our new appointed planning commissioners.
Absolutely.
Is it okay if we introduce them now, or are we going to do that in the
Sure,
next meeting?
why don't you introduce?
Yes, we'd like to introduce the reappointment of Mr. Glenn Schubert, if you might stand, please.
Yep.
And our new member, Lawrence Breffart. Please stand. Both of these gentlemen here, along with the rest of the planning commission, will be straddled with this project that's going to be hopefully taking place on 111, the Cocoon Summit project, in which we're discussing this whitewater channel reinforcement. So looking forward to all your input and hard work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, council member. All right, we will move right to public hearings. For each item listed under public hearing, the public will have an opportunity to speak. Following the staff report, I will open up the hearing. Do we have any public comments? Wait. We don't have okay. We have no public comments, so
But you haven't opened the public hearing yet.
we'll open the public hearing.
Well, the staff presentation comes.
Oh, okay, staff presentation.
And then
I'm sorry. I'm opening up the hearing for item I.1, which is an ordinance adopting by reference the 2025 California Building Standards Codes and other uniform codes with local amendments. Staff presentation.
Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Wes Ramaclis, Building Official and Code Enforcement Manager. The item before you this afternoon is the adoption of the 2025 California Building Standards Code, which will repeal and recast Title 16 of the Indian Wells Municipal Code. This is the public hearing and the subsequent second reading of the item. I provided a few changes that will affect the community here. Of course, these codes are adopted by the state every 3 years, and they take effect on January 1st, 2026. Adoption by reference keeps our municipal code current and preserves our local authority to enforce building and fire safety. So a few items up on the PowerPoint are some of the changes, but quite frankly, especially with our occupancies locally, this code cycle is extremely light. Most notably for residential construction, the state now requires that all homes be electric ready. Therefore, even if it is natural gas powered, the electrical infrastructure must be in place. I also want to take an opportunity to inform you that due to a recent assembly bill, the state has also placed a freeze on residential amendments up until 2031 to further support the state's housing goals. And so this electric ready addition to the code will be the last amendment for residential anyways that you'll see in quite a few years. Also, Riverside County Fire prepared the amendments to the fire code and the Wildland Urban Interface Code. We do have the Deputy Fire Marshal here today with us if you have any questions. And with that, staff recommends that council open the public hearing, receive any public testimony, close the hearing, and adopt the ordinance adopting the 2025 codes by reference. Thank you. And of course, I'm here for any questions.
Thank you, Wes. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have a question? All right. We'll then open the public hearing. Do we have any public comments? We will close the public comment portion of the hearing.
Adoption.
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Passes 5-0. That moves us to general business J1, Grants and Aid Committee recommendations for fiscal year 2025-26 program funding. Let's open to a staff presentation. Miss Manning, is that who's? Sorry.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor and City Council. Again, my name is Catherine Manning, Management Assistant. I'm here today to present the Grants and Aid Committee funding recommendations for fiscal year 2025-26. The Grants and Aid Committee again met on October 22nd, 2025 to discuss funding recommendations for 37 applications. The decision-making process for agency funding allocations is based on several criteria, again, such as applicants must be tax exempt, nonprofit organization, applicants must show evidence that it meets a Coachella Valley need, and applicants must have completed the required application along with required attachments, such as provide the city with a current IRS 990 form, current IRS verification letter within the last 5 years, dated within the last 5 years, and the agency's operating budget for the current fiscal year, just to name a few. Again, also, any returning applicants must have submitted a copy of the final fiscal year end report in order to be eligible to reapply for this fiscal year. This report provides the city with a detailed account of how the grant funding was utilized, and also the information highlights the meaningful and impactful causes that the funding supports. For example, the Coachella Valley Housing Coalition is a returning applicant this year and used last year's funding to provide 2 after-school programs which served over 30 children. These programs provided tutoring, homework assistance, access to computer technology and instruction, as well as physical activities and arts and crafts. Family Services of the Desert is another returning applicant this year and used last year's funding to provide weekend meals for over 240 children for every week for the entire school year. This includes over 15,000 breakfasts, over 15,000 lunches, and 23,000 snacks, just to name a couple of organizations that we funded last year that are returning this year. Following careful consideration, the committee is recommending funding for 26 of those 37 applicants. And the Grants and Aid Committee recommends the City Council to approve the Grants and Aid funding recommendations provided by the Grants and Aid Committee, totaling $160,000 for the organizations outlined in your staff report. And we do also have organizations of the representatives of the organizations here with us today. So for those that are here, if they could please stay until the end of the meeting. And we'd love to also have them be recognized and take a photo. But that also concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions of Ms. Manning? Could I ask everybody who is here as a recipient for a grant to raise your hand? Are all of you able to stay around? It's not going to be that much longer for a photograph at the end. Okay. All right.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We'll open the public comments. Any public comments? There are no public comments, so we will close the public comments.
Approval.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion passes 5-0. The next item is J2 Highway 111 Drought Tolerant Landscaping Turf Replacement. Dina, do you have a report?
Good afternoon, Mayor Whitman, council members. My name is Dina Purvis, currently serving as your Public Works Director. I am here today to receive direction from you regarding the Highway 111 Drought Tolerant Project. A short recap of how we got here. Council was interested in reducing turf on Highway 111 and placed it on the 23-24 strategic plan. Project remained on the strategic plan for the next 2 years as we sought grant funding and were subsequently awarded such. Planning Commission and City Council approved a new landscaping ordinance, and the project went through the environmental and design process. The budget for the project was approved earlier this year. The grant application that was successful was a regional grant spearheaded by the Water District with the city as a subrecipient. The grant type is implementation, meaning it's paid on a reimbursement basis after construction has begun. The amount available to the city is $650,000. The approved CIP budget sets aside just over $1 million for the balance. All proposed locations of turf removal would be behind sidewalks. So where you see this little hatching area here, that was the proposed location of turf removal. The point of that was to preserve the city's iconic look by keeping that grass that is in between the curb and the sidewalk. Wow, I said that pretty fast. This is a look at the concept plan layout. You can see the color area, the part that's green, that's where we would be doing the work, if so desired. The areas that are gray are the ones that stay turf. So you'll see a lot of that right by the roadway stays the same. Nothing would be removed between the curb and the sidewalk. All the plant materials that would be used would be the typical Indian Wells lush green type of landscaping materials, very colorful. It's hard to imagine what a change like that would look like, so we created a few view simulations just to help with the visual. You can see that the area behind the sidewalk goes from having grass to having plants. It's the end of my very short and concise presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Mr. Mayor, if I can add a couple of comments, just to follow up on Dina's presentation, just as a reminder to the council and the public that there are portions of Highway 111 that are not owned by the city. So this is just city-owned property. Some of the HOAs along Highway 111 are responsible for their own landscaping, and so that is not part of the scope of the project.
With that, if we do implement this, are those associations going to follow suit?
So they are required to follow our city's landscape ordinance, and this is in accommodation to that. So we would assume they have some sort of complementary landscape, but that'd be something we would follow up with our community development folks.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a question. I believe this was approved at strategic planning,
That was
That's
correct.
correct.
and the approval was for the actual change of landscape to accommodate kind of both water conservation and sustainable landscaping as required by AB 1572. And therefore, today's hearing is just to get acknowledgement of that already approved process.
It is, if I may clarify, so the legislation, AB, you have the number?
1572.
1572, thank you, applies to those areas that are called non-functional turf and that are irrigated with potable water. Most, if not all, I should say most, of Highway 111 that is owned by the city is done by non-potable water, so it's not subject to AB 1572. However, our local HOAs are. And so they'll be subject to that as they redo portions of Highway 111 in order to accommodate state law. As part of the strategic planning session a couple of years ago and the drought that we were in, the council thought it was to be a good example to help reduce our water consumption, to also look at redoing some of our turf along Highway 111, thus the project that we are looking at today. Today is just seeking council reaffirmation that this is still a strategic planning goal. If it is, you wish for us to, have some additional community outreach, move forward with the project, table this until a later date is other options that are available as well. Do a test case out along Highway 111 so both the council and the community has an opportunity to see what the new landscaping could look like. So there's a lot of variety of options available to the council, and we're just seeking some direction on how you wish to move forward. That's all.
Does anybody else have any questions of?
I do. Do we have any idea on savings if we move forward with this on water or
Yes.
maintenance as well?
So we did track how much we are spending in water by gallon. And so we will look at the same meter again once the landscaping has been changed to be able to report how many gallons that is.
Okay, so no
No projections.
72,000 foot estimate on.
No.
Okay, thank you.
And just as a minor point of clarification, I apologize, Chris, AB 1572 actually requests that sustainable landscaping be put in. Doesn't require, but it requests. So it's above and beyond the potable water situation.
Okay, Mr. Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Two things. First of all, look, I'm stating the obvious. The 111 corridor through Indian Wells sets us apart from every other city in the valley. You know when you're in Indian Wells. To a great degree, the landscaping that we have is fairly consistent from one end of the city to the other. Before we leap into this, I think we need to know whether or not the homeowners associations that control certain stretches of Highway 111 are going to be on board. Otherwise, we run the risk of having inconsistent landscaping architecture through the 111 corridor. Second thing, there was a representation made by the Coachella Valley Water District about two and a half years ago that the Colorado River water supply that we use to irrigate the 111 corridor is virtually limitless. That is, there's no way that we can use more than what the Coachella Valley Water District is supplied in terms of our landscaping irrigation needs. About a year ago, Mr. City Manager, maybe even more recent than that, their projection changed. Now there is the prospect of Colorado River water being completely cut off from us.
Correct.
So I think it would be prudent for us to have our city attorney look at the deeds to the property that we own to determine whether we have water rights, and as a potential backup measure, determine whether drilling a well or two might be in order in case we need the water if the Colorado River water supply is cut off. And if we do own the water rights, just approximately what it would cost to avail ourselves of that water. Not a big undertaking, but I think it would be good to have an ace in the hole if we need it. That's it.
Anybody else? Mr. Reed? Questions? No.
Just waiting for somebody to make a motion on that. There's
No.
a few options on the table. here.
There are.
Right. I have a couple of questions. So as I read the staff report, it starts with saying that during the height of drought is when this first was proposed. Do you know what year that was?
It was in the 23-24 fiscal year.
No, that was when it was on the, that's when it was on the strategic planning. It was proposed sometime back in the 2017, 2018 era when we were in drought. The whole state was in drought when we first talked about this. I understand that the grant is $650,000. It's a 25% matching grant, correct? Meaning
Yes.
that we have to contribute about $130,000 or $135,000 to get that grant, right?
That's correct.
And at the time, maybe we thought that $1 million or $1,072,000 was adequate to do this project, and that's what the budget is for the project.
That's correct.
However, as I read the staff report, the estimate of costs that we've received is $5 million now. Is that right?
That is also correct.
So what we're really being asked to do is to add another $4 million or so for this project where we're not in drought anymore, and it would inexorably change the appearance of our iconic corridor by replacing turf with plant.
If I could clarify,
Yeah.
the 5 million was to have a contractor who would also supply the plants come in and complete the project. The changed cost to the million city share, if you will, is for the city to buy the plants and utilize our own forces to install them.
Okay. So we asked a contractor for costs. They came back with 5 million, and now we're saying that we're not going to hire a contractor to do it.
Correct.
We're going to do it in-house.
Correct.
And is this the same Public Works Department that's doing the Safe Streets work as well?
We are.
All right. So how confident are you that we're going to be able to complete this project for $1,072,000 in-house, rather than have to go to a contractor for up to $5 million to complete the project?
Very confident.
Okay. So given the fact we are no longer in a statewide drought condition, are we?
Not to my knowledge.
So really this project was thought to be necessary at one time, but it's really not necessary now. It's not required by state law. We're using non-potable water. And it's a good use, in my opinion, for the non-potable water. What else are we going to use the non-potable water for that we have for this project? Is there another use for this water other than to keep our iconic pathway through the city?
It's what we use it for now.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I can, drought or no drought, the problem is that the water supply may be cut off.
Maybe.
And if you want to spend a fortune on potable water, which we would not be allowed to use anyway, the drought kind of precipitated the discussions on this. But now the latest news from the CVWD is that our Colorado River water supply, which is non-potable, is in jeopardy. That's the impetus for looking at this now. It's not drought, it's water supply.
Okay, well, I'm not familiar with that prediction or projection that we're going to lose all of our Colorado River water. I don't know that. So to me, this is something that's not necessary, and I am dubious that we're going to be able to do the whole project in-house for $1 million when we have a contractor who gave us a bid of $5 million to do the whole thing. That's pretty optimistic. And is that right? Did we get a bid for $5 million to do the project?
It was an estimate, not a bid.
Not a bid. Okay. So it hasn't gone out to bid.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, okay. So
Any more questions?
that's my question. And does anybody else, does that bring up anybody else's questions?
Yeah, my only concern is it looking the way it looks now. When you drive into the city, it's not chopped up. We're not looking at the homeowners associations not being on board, not having the funds to do it, and some of them may not have the funds to do it. So we have to have a lot of consistency down our corridor to keep our city iconic in its current fashion now. So that's my biggest concern, is making sure that if it is voted on, that we don't disrupt the apple cart.
Will somebody make a motion?
No, we have to do.
No, we have
public
to do
comments.
public comments first.
So can we get to public comments?
Do we have any public comments?
Thank you.
No public comments. Oh, wait, we do have a public comment. Somebody's got a radio.
Marcy Maxwell, thank you for letting me
Thank you,
speak.
Ms. Maxwell.
If you don't mind putting that picture back up, the before and after, the after looks beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and it very much defines our community and adds color to it. We've talked about turf removal from the HOA standpoint. I've brought that to you on behalf of Dorado Villas, and as you talked about the safe streets and the sidewalks and so forth. Our Dorado Villas, we have worked as a board on turf removal with CVD, and don't forget they're giving you $650,000 to use this, and that's going to go away if you don't. But what we've done, when we had some people that, you know, in our board, or I should say in our HOA, that said, no, we don't want to do that. We love all that turf. And we've done work like this. It looks gorgeous. It is beautiful. It is very much about the beauty of the city. It's about saving water. Drought or no drought, we need to do that. We need to be responsible stewards of the water. I hope that you will do this. I hope that you will accept the funds that are coming to you from CVWD, because they do follow through and they've been very good to work with on that from our standpoint. And as far as the homeowners associations are concerned, they have a requirement, and I've mentioned that to you before, by January 1st of 2029, they have to remove their turf, the ornamental turf that is not being or not available for use like recreation and so forth, but it's just ornamental turf with just, you know, no use at all. So the homeowners associations are going to have to do that. Some of us have been very much in the forefront of this. Others of these homeowners associations really need to consider that more. And I hope that when you have the HOA event, I think it's January, that will be a topic there to remind some of them about that. And I think our city will look beautiful throughout when we do it. But this is gorgeous. So I hope you'll do that.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, the point I was trying to make is consistency. It's not that the HOA is going to do it or not going to do it. If there's going to be a redo of the corridor, it should be consistent from one end of the city to the other. And so we need to work with them to make sure that their plans sync up with our plans.
And additionally, is there any obstacles with the LMDs with this?
Well, is there any further public?
Are there any
comment?
further public
We're in
comments?
Public comment right
Oh,
now.
Is there any further public comment?
no, that's it.
Anybody else?
Anybody else want to talk on this? All right, we'll close the public comment, and we can have a motion.
We should have a motion before
Right.
we have discussion.
Right.
I move that we go with option 2 as recommended, which is to install a test area of landscape project and design so that we can show everyone how beautiful this is while we get consistency laid out from the HOAs along 111 so that we can show them how beautiful this is and also have a sense of cost and timing involved. And so I recommend option 2. There's a motion for option 2.
I'll
Would-
second it.
Would you consider adding to the motion an investigation into the water rights that we have on city-owned property?
I think that's a separate issue than what we're talking about here today, but I think it's a good idea.
Well, I don't know that it's a separate issue. The thing that's driving this is the possible loss of our Colorado River water. So, just
Sure,
a-
and I would like to see that. I think
it's a great second motion. I mean, a separate motion, a separate agenda.
okay. Any further discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
City Manager, are there any obstacles with the LMDs in this project?
I'll have to defer to both Dina and Kevin, but the LMDs are, some of them are managed by the city, so we would be able to control those, but some are not. So let me defer both to Dina and Kevin about the finances.
I understand, but I also understand that when we do make changes, you have to amend those LMDs as well. Am I correct?
Depends what you mean by amend the
Amend-
LMDs.
Well, what's there?
If I may.
Yeah.
Every year, the finance department and Public Works work with a company who manages the LLMDs for us, and we adjust the amounts for whatever it may need accordingly. So less water will result in less utility cost, and that would be adjusted.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question about the motion. What area of land are you suggesting that we would put
I
a
would
test
leave that
area?
at the discretion of
Or what,
staff.
what would be a reasonable amount of land, or where would you do this? Any idea?
We
How
certainly
much?
could do it here near City Hall. It's a great start, and it's a separation in between the hotel properties and City Hall.
And there is, I believe, a section between the Hyatt and City Hall, which would be a great place because there is much of the area between City Hall and Hyatt on the north side of 111 that already has landscaping similar to this that we can use as a comparison.
And is this going to come back eventually as an item to approve with a budget? Or is it,
The budget was approved in May.
okay, so we're at $1,072,000 as a budget.
That's correct.
That's our budget for the entire project.
Well, we also will receive the grant funding once we start constructing.
Okay, so the grant funding is in addition to the $1,072,000. Okay. And what about maintenance, ongoing maintenance? Is that going to be done by the city, or is it going to be done by our landscape contractor?
Landscape contractor.
Okay. And do we have any idea how much the additional cost would be for that?
We do. I did not bring that with me. I apologize. But we did determine with them the difference between the maintenance of a square foot of turf and a square foot of this, and between the cost of the utility savings and the time not spent with the mowing and such, it was less to go this way.
It was less, was significantly less?
It was not significantly less, but it was less.
Okay.
Question, when does the grant expire?
I believe it's December 2026.
And any further discussion? All right. The motion has been made. There's been a second. Has there been a second?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I move that the council direct the city attorney to undertake a review of the water rights that the city has on its on city-owned property and report back to us in December.
That would be for,
I mean, December meeting is right around the corner, isn't it?
It takes about 5 minutes to look at a type report.
so I'm sorry, is this under our new policy to put a new agenda item on the next?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So the motion is to put an item of, and could you restate it for us?
This is instructions to staff. This is just staff.
No.
instructions.
No, it's,
It's an agenda item for December.
Mr. City Attorney, is this required? Or can we just give staff?
You can always give direction by motion if you want, or I can just pay attention and write it down and bring it back.
Thank you.
Okay.
Whatever the pleasure of the council is, for goodness sake.
all right.
I will go and do, and I'll return and report.
It's on the record. Thank you.
All right. So council member reports and comments. Council member Sanders.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I last Saturday attended the dedication of the new Pattis monkey exhibit at the Living Desert. It's the first primate exhibit at the Living Desert. And I learned that the Pattis monkey is the fastest animal on the planet. A Pattis monkey can run 40 miles an hour, if you can believe that. In contrast, Uzziah Bolt, at one time anyway, was the fastest human on the planet. He can only run 20 miles an hour. So gives you an idea of the exotic nature of these animals. Cove Commission met and we are exploring further ways to share resources and coordinate projects to achieve efficiencies among the three cities that belong to the Cove Commission, that is Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, and Indian Wells. The Public Safety Committee, Councilman Penna and myself met yesterday. We had a host of items on the agenda, and I was going to propose that we report on those at the next meeting, since we just had the Public Safety Committee meeting and we're kind of digesting all of the things that we done. We did. We had a very robust agenda, so we'll report that out in December. That's it.
Council Member Penna.
Good afternoon, everyone. I don't have much to report. We are still working with Indian Wells Preservation Foundation with the neighborhood recognition. That will be coming next month. And lastly, with the Community Activities Committee, we have the Christmas tree lighting on December 2nd, which is the same day as the players reopening. It's going to be at 5 p.m., correct, City Manager?
I'll defer to our city clerk who oversees community activities, but I think it'll be at dusk,
Okay.
whenever that's closest to 5.
Arrival by 5:30.
Okay, so everyone plan on that. That should be great. It's going to be on the corner here at City Hall. It's going to be a first-time event for us, so I'd like to see everybody there. Thank you.
Council Member Dr. Taylor.
Okay, so let's see. I brought a presentation from Caltrans to share with you. It's so exciting, which shows $1 billion of maintenance that has been allocated to the Coachella Valley, much of which is done. And what I'll do here is, assuming I can get this to work, the big gray button in the middle. There we go. Hopefully that works. So this is this represents the fine work of Caltrans, starting in Beaumont and heading all the way to the Arizona border. What's fascinating just to look out is the brown buttons. 1, 2, 3 represent work that has been done. The orange buttons, including the one in Blythe at the very end there, are currently under construction and soon to finish. You can see 3 specific areas, one kind of near us out in Indio, kind of light blue turquoise, that are coming down the pipe. And we see one that is currently in a bidding process in green. So this is Caltrans and the amount of money that's been allocated. So each one of those colored flags is now going to be described. I don't have to spend a lot of time here, but you can see the amount of cost of construction for 7.5 miles of basically maintenance, $72 million. 11.8 miles of maintenance, $57 million. So you're talking about just enormous amounts of money that go to making sure our roads are intact and efficient. You can see this picture here is what they're putting as the new entry to the state of California from Arizona and should be completed here in the next couple weeks. So that was the presentation from Caltrans, from our Transportation Committee I wanted to share with you. We met with the Golf Resort Committee, and I think maybe, Mr. City Manager, you can share a couple dates with folks here, just as another reminder of our that we're going to have a Thanksgiving dinner at Kestrel, but we're also going to have a country night coming up.
That's on next, let's see, Friday, November the 14th.
Okay.
Reservations being had for that. Thanksgiving, I think they're sold out, but they are doing a wait list right now. So if you're interested in having Thanksgiving at Kestrel, please contact the Golf Resort.
Terrific. We have an excellent new manager there that is doing a fantastic job. If you haven't met him yet, please do. Let's see. What else? That's all I have at the moment. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Reed.
I have nothing to report, except I just want to follow up on what Dr. Taylor said. When I started in the transportation world under Governor Ronald Reagan in the 1960s, it used to cost $1 million a mile to build a freeway. About 10 years later, it was $1 million a mile for a sound wall. And now it's
10 million a mile.
10 million
A mile.
a mile for
Concrete.
just for concrete.
Correct.
And so the numbers are mind-boggling, and it's not sustainable. It simply is not sustainable. The gas tax for fuel-efficient automobiles, some of which use no fuel whatsoever, and those that do use fuel use far less than they did when I got started. It's simply not sustainable, and presumably the only real answer to the problem is a vehicle mile tax, where people who put on thousands and thousands and thousands of miles on the road, they pay more than people like me, who puts on maybe 100 miles maximum. But thank you for taking over the responsibility of transportation, and thank you for your report, and I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Reed. Branding, we did create a new vision statement for the city, but then we found out that we had one, so we're looking into that. Is that right? No, we created it. Okay, and also we changed our logo to add a tennis player to our golfer. As you can see around, we have a golfer on there, and now we have a tennis player, and that will all be replaced shortly. The CVAG Executive Committee met in a special meeting in closed session. I can't describe what happened there. We have a meeting upcoming, Councilmember Sanders and I, with Desert Sands next week for a report on the school district. Is it tomorrow? It's tomorrow. I think Golf Advisory Committee, once again, please come to the opening December 2nd of the new players course. It's going to be a bash and a party and golf and a lot of fun. Whether you golf or not, there'll be activities for you to engage in. Sunline Transit Agency suffering a bit because of the restriction on hydrogen right now, which is the main fuel for the buses. They're doing a good job of using alternate fuel and looking for ways to get more hydrogen. And that's all I've got. There's a dust meeting at, just as an announcement. As we all know, we've had a lot of dust in the valley. And there's a meeting that's being convened by the county supervisor.
By the AQMD.
By what?
By the AQMD.
By the AQMD at the Riverside, UC Riverside Campus Auditorium, which is out in Palm Desert on, I believe, Gerald Ford and Cook.
Frank Sinatra and Cook, I think.
Frank Sinatra, Gerald Ford and Cook, yeah. So it's really interesting. It'll start at 5, and anybody that's concerned about dust, there's going to be quite a big discussion and a lot of speakers and a lot of...
There's also a Zoom invite if you can't make it there in person.
If you can't make it in person, there's a Zoom invite. So if you want to look up AQMD on your computers or your phones or whatever, and if you want to go on Zoom, you can watch the meeting. So I urge everybody to go because it's a big issue, and I know some of our council members have been working hard on it and are going to be involved. So that being the case, we will adjourn the meeting to a regularly scheduled meeting of the City Council to be held on December 4th, 2025, 1:30 p.m. Thank you.